But this is the best I think we've got this on the side, we got this on the side.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Come on guys, it's a Tuesday night. I feel like we could do a little better than that. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. MashaAllah, MashaAllah, what an amazing crowd. We're so happy to host you here at the Islamic Society of Orange County. My name is Amir Murtaban, I'm the executive director here, and I'm so excited to welcome you all. And for many of you, welcome back home. Alhamdulillah, this is home to many of you in the audience, and this is the mother masjid of the Muslim community. And we're happy and excited to host Anarwa at their fundraiser here, and thank you all again for coming. We won't waste too much time. We're going to invite our dear senior advisor, Dr. Siddiqui, up to the stage to give us a few words.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. All praises for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of the worlds, and peace and blessings upon His prophets and messengers, especially the last and final Prophet Muhammad salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. I'm so happy to see you. Actually, I'm impressed to see you here this evening, the weekday, and many of you worked until your office hours were over, and then you came here, and you'll be staying here for a few hours. MashaAllah, may Allah bless you. May Allah reward you for your concern. May Allah reward you for your being with the Ummah, concerned with the Ummah. مَنْ لَمْ يَهْتَمَّ بِأَمْرِ الْمُسْلِمِينَ فَلَيْسَ مِنْهُمْ. The one who does not care for the affairs of Muslims doesn't belong to them. Alhamdulillah, you belong to the Ummah and you have concern for the Ummah. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless you. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless your families, your children, protect you, inshallah, and keep you always on the right path, on the path of justice, on the path of peace and justice for all. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا قوامين لله شهداء بالقسط ولا يجرمنكم شنآن قوم على ألا تعدلوا اعدلوا هو أقرب للتقوى واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "O you who believe, كونوا قوامين لله." Stand for Allah. Stand for the cause of Allah. Shuhada bil qasd, witnesses for justice, for fair dealing. And let not the animosity of any group towards you turn you away from the path of justice. وَلَا يَجْرِمَنَّكُمْ شَنَآنُ قَوْمٍ عَلَىٰ أَلَّا تَعْدِلُوا اعْدِلُوا هُوَ أَقْرَبُ لِلتَّقْوَى. Be just. This is closest to piety. And be mindful of Allah. Allah is aware of all that you do. It is very important to be concerned for the humanity. But of course goodness starts from home. Charity begins from home. You have to be concerned about your own brothers and sisters. And our brothers and sisters in Palestine, they have been suffering. They've been suffering the last 11 months. And it's not just 11 months. They've been suffering for the last 75 years. They're deprived of their rights, they're deprived of their property, of their homes, of their schools, of their mosques, of their hospitals, of everything. Israelis have brutally attacked them. The most brutal warfare that has been going on. And people are not spared. Children are not spared. Little children are not spared. Men and women are not spared. So there are brutal attacks going on. Of course, Allah is watching everything. Inna Allaha yumhil wa la yuhmil. Allah gives rope to the people. Okay. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not neglect. Allah is watching everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides the humanity to the right path, or bring them to the right path by His own power, by His own strength, inshallah. So we hope that this evening will be a very inspiring evening, very good evening. People are going to present what they saw and what is happening. They are going to narrate that. And we have to know that. Knowing is very important. Knowledge is strength. And knowledge should motivate us and keep us on the right path. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless the speakers, may Allah bless the audience, and may Allah bless the Islamic Society of Orange County, inshallah, for holding such program and keep us on the right path. I would like to introduce my dear brother Abdullah Misra, who is our new religious director. So please come forward and say a few words, inshallah. Barakallahu fiik.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Thank you for those very wise words, Dr. Siddiqui, and thank you SoCal for the warm welcome that you've given me. You know, subhanAllah, I had a chance to meet Brother Motaz briefly in the back, and I always thought when I meet him the first thing I'm going to do is cry, because for a lot of us we've been holding something inside us that we just don't know how to get out. No matter how many tears, no matter how many prayers, whatever we post, there's something that's inside us, that pain. And instead, when I asked him, we were taking around the masjid and showing him different things. You know, we showed him, we have this, and look this, look this. And he said, these are all nice things. You know, I can't post any of this. He says, because every time I think to post something nice, I think back when my people are suffering. How can I post something like that when they're going through this? But what I can post is, look, these people in Gaza had a little bit of electricity. The children are smiling. Look, this child has his legs blown off, but they're smiling. And I thought about that and I said, subhanAllah, people like us who are here, sometimes we switch on and off just to be able to survive, to be able to make it through the day. And people like Motaz, they don't turn off. They're always on. When I look at him, I remember I see a sign from the signs of Allah, a miracle. Why? Because for any human being to be walking and to carry all that load, he's carrying a burden of not only his people, but the whole world, the suffering, the like the world has not seen. And so when I see an example like that, I remember the words of the Prophet, peace be upon him. The best struggle for truth is a word of The best struggle is a word of truth in front of an oppressive power. Because when you speak truth against an oppressive power, you do so at the cost of your life. And Motaz has not only spoken words, he's taken pictures, he's shown us images which are worth thousands of words. Because of him, we know what's going on with our brothers and sisters, him and others like him. And I told him, I don't know you personally, but I have so much love for him. And I feel like you're a brother, even though I don't know you. First thing I said is, wow, you're so tall. I didn't realize that. You can't tell from the pictures. But you know, even physically but metaphorically, Motaz is standing tall. The people of Gaza are tall. They're towering over us because of what they go through, and they still have the will to survive and keep going, teaching us all lessons that you can't learn from any books. Many of us, we studied things, religion, for many years. But the lessons that we learn and the few words that he said are worth their weight in gold. We know as well that all of the suffering that people go through is something in our faith that they are rewarded for in the end. And I told Motaz that whatever you've gone through on behalf of all of your people is something that you will find in Allah. And I pray that Allah keeps him strong. I pray that God gives him the strength and guidance. He said many things, that he wants to spread this message to the next generation. Honestly, I'm very inspired. And today is not my day to preach, but today is the day to see action. Because there's knowledge, there are words, but when someone does something, that is worth more than anything else. So inshallah, I look forward to hearing from our two brothers, especially Motaz and Dr. Ahmed Abdeen. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
All right, welcome. This is going to be an exciting night, inshallah. We have a lot to go over. We have exciting panelists as well. The topic is a little heavy, but we'll move forward, inshallah, with care. All right, some ground rules before we begin. Just on behalf of the Islamic Society of Orange County, its staff, volunteers, and the board, we thank you all again for coming. Jazakumullahu khairan. And next year is our 50th anniversary. It's an important year for us, and the masjid is that. Thank you. Yeah, I agree. I just started 8 months ago, so I'll take credit for that, inshallah. The masjid is committed to a strategic plan, and they've been working on it for quite some time. And in the strategic plan, the theme is reimagine. We're going through a sizable shift and change at this community to make it a model Muslim community. So over the next 3 to 5 years, through a lot of fundraising efforts, the entire campus will change. Many new buildings will pop up. A lot of older buildings will be refurbished and used for other things. So we're excited and happy that you're here to help us support in the vision for the future, inshallah. So thank you again for your participation in that. We wanted to thank our partners today at UNRWA, specifically Mara Cronenfeld, the Executive Director of UNRWA USA, Layla Mukhaydir, and Hani Madhoun, who's outside probably collecting donations as we speak. You guys are awesome, your work is important, and thank you again for partnering up with us on this program. And I also wanted to thank the Muslim Youth Group, our dear brother Abdurrahman, and the team at MYG for co-sponsoring the event with us. If you need ASL interpretation, you can come right up here to this side of the venue. It's right over here on this side of the lawn. We have an ASL interpreter. We have open seats as well. You're welcome to come on by, inshallah, so you can get a glimpse of what's going on. A couple ground rules, like I said, please no standing in the aisles, no standing at all. If you're going to be in the lawn, please stay seated at all times. Unfortunately, all of the seats that are held, alhamdulillah, we have a good amount of space, so I'll skip over that. You're welcome to food outside, the vendors, coffees, Baraka Cafe, and vendors out on the brick area. If you do bring food inside, would you do us a favor, please? Just take it out with you. This is an active school. It's a K-12 school called Orange Crescent School, and there is school tomorrow, and they will be using the lawn. So help us clean up the message, inshallah, on your way out. Lastly, there's a lot to be said about the ongoing genocide. There's a lot to be said about the ongoing genocide in Palestine and the attacks in Lebanon. Today is less about politics and more about the humanitarian crisis. So please keep respectful and be mindful of this is a house of worship, and be respectful to the program and the speakers, inshallah, at all times. With that being said, we'll go ahead and introduce our first speaker, Dr. Ahmed Abdeen. Dr. Ahmed was born actually in Khan Yunis in the Gaza Strip. Dr. Ahmed graduated in top honors actually in Ain Shams University in Cairo. He's working in Gaza's European hospital for the last 6 months during the decimation, witnessing unimaginable atrocities and from the ongoing genocide. He's currently residing here in Southern California and aspiring to be one of the greatest neurosurgeons in SoCal. With that being said, we'll like to welcome our dear Dr. Ahmed Abdeen to the stage.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, it's a great honor for me to stand before you today and to share with you part of my experience in Gaza Strip during the 6 months of experience in Gaza Strip, which was one of the harshest and of the most difficult times I have ever been experienced. When the war started, it was the first hours, specifically the first hours of the war, were like a test for our humanity, because we didn't know what is awaited us. We didn't know when the war will end, but we knew very well that there was a great responsibility on our shoulders. As a doctor, I chose the field of neurosurgery to volunteer in the European Gaza hospital since the start of the aggression. I chose that field because I had always promised Allah that I would specialize in this field after my brother Hashim passed away in 2010. He passed away after he was in dire need for a brain surgery called the compressive craniectomy. This surgery at which we just remove part of the skull to relieve the brain tissue and to evacuate the hematoma. But at that time, we hadn't the resources and we hadn't the doctors in the neurosurgery field in Gaza. So my brother passed away after 15 days in the ICU. I chose this field because I wanted to contribute to saving lives of my people and cases similar to my brother Hashim. May Allah have mercy on him. But the problem, what I have seen and experienced and dealt with in the European Gaza hospital exceeded my imagination and my expectation. I started my work at the European Gaza hospital and I moved between Nasser Medical Complex and the Kuwaiti hospital in Rafah. The working days were extending for 7 consecutive days without any stopping. There was no time to rest. There was no time to relieve. There was no time to think about ourselves. Because every moment, every minute, and every time in Gaza is blood and pain. So death didn't wait us, so we didn't have time to think about ourselves. After all these exhausting days, I would return home for a short rest, didn't exceed 12 hours. Then I would return back to the front lines. For me, that experience was a daily battle between hope and despair. I saw the hope in the eyes of my injured patient, despite of their severely injuries and severe wounds that they had. And also I see the despair in the eyes of their children that they lost how to smile. Perhaps one of the most difficult times I went through in Gaza was the moment of our family's displacement from Khan Yunis to Rafah. We left our homes behind, we left our memories behind, we left our childhood memories, our dreams, everything behind. And we began to live in tents, on sidewalks, sharing pain, sadness, and breadcrumbs with thousands of other families. The experience of displacement was and is still the harshest for everyone, but it's harsher for the children who walked barefoot on the muddy ground, while the adults tried hard to find them warm shelter in a harsh winter or even in a blazing summer, because we started the war in the winter and then the summer started, and now my family and my whole people, because I still have my parents and my sister, my brother, my whole family, they still in Gaza, they are living, suffering of the winter again, and the world is keeping silent. I remember well those long nights filled with passing rains, where the tents were flooded with rainwater. We tried hard to keep hope alive in our hearts, despite everything, but the scenes of children floated in the water, shivering from the cold, without shoes, filled me with sadness and tears my heart. What we went through in Gaza, it's not just personal experience, but rather it's a part of the story of the steadfastness. It's a part of the story of the steadfastness of an entire people, in the face of the indifference of an entire world. Each story in Gaza carries with it pain, despair, hope, and faith. We get our hope and faith by our faith in Allah and in Quran. A good example of this mixture of feelings, my fiancé and my love, Reem Ahmed, whose home collapsed on their heads due to devastating bombing, leading to the martyrdom of her beloved mother, her older brother Bilal, with his children in his arms. I extracted his children from his arms by my own hands. With her sister's husbands dead. But a divine miracle, after 12 hours under the rubble, Allah saved Reem. She remained alive under the rubble, bleeding, screaming for some instances, and falling silent and unconscious for other instances. From the horror of darkness among the rubble in other instances, Reem experienced the darkness of the grave, exactly of the grave, for more than 12 hours. And Allah wanted to bring her alive after that time for a reason that He only knows, because He is the best planner. Reem is now in Egypt, and we are waiting impatiently for Allah to bring us together in the near future, inshallah. I want the PowerPoint, please. The PowerPoint. Yeah. It's on? Yeah, can we move the slide? Yeah, please. I want to see it to explain it. Okay. It's okay. Can you just turn this for me? That's it. Okay, yeah. She draws herself under the rubble. She draws her story, what she faced under the rubble in a picture, because she's an artist and she's an architecture engineer. These photos are on Washington News. You can just write Reem Ahmed Washington News. You will find the whole story of my fiancé. Yeah, really we faced a lot. Today I stand before you and I carry a message to the whole world. We should all work together to end this horrifying genocide. We join together to build a better future for our children, where they don't see this horrifying genocide, where they don't live in tents. And so we can fulfill Allah's promise in Quran, in His saying in Surah Al-Isra. فإذا جاء وعد الآخرة ليسوءوا وجوهكم وليدخلوا المسجد كما دخلوه أول مرة وليتبروا ما علوا تتبيرا. After saying all this, I still feel short of words to express the suffering, pain of the war that I saw with my own eyes. I didn't only saw it, I lived it. I didn't only lived it as a displaced refugee. I lived it for some days as a surgeon, dealing with the flesh, dealing with parts of bodies, and for other time as a displaced refugee, going from place to place with my family, as for other families in Gaza. My biggest dream, which I feel Allah created me in this life for, is to be a great neurosurgeon. I finished my medical school, but now I'm searching for a seat for a neurosurgery residency in the next cycle. So I feel Allah brought me here just 2 months ago from Gaza to make my specialty of neurosurgery here and to have great skills and abilities in that field that I always promised Allah to specialize in it, and then to go back in Gaza as soon as possible. I finish and build a hospital, and I will name it Hashim Gaza, or Gaza to Hashim. So I want this hospital to be very powerful in the neurosurgery residency program, to teach our Gazan medical graduates in Gaza, and they don't need to be obliged to go outside Gaza to make their specialties in this field, inshallah. I will end with my brother Isam. He's my older brother. He's Hafiz Quran, whole Quran, and he was Imam in Gaza, in Khan Yunis at Masjid Khalid bin Walid. He just saw a dream 2-3 days ago. I intended to say it for you. That dream, he saw himself in Gaza, but he now is in Turkey. He evacuated himself with me at the same time, because his wife is in Turkey. He saw himself in Gaza, in Khan Yunis, in Masjid Khalid bin Walid, exactly where exactly I born and I grow up, but that masjid now is bombed by the occupation. He saw himself at the Al-Fajr prayer, leading the prayer with the people, and he read after Surah Al-Fatiha, Surah Al-Duha, twice. In the first rak'ah, he read Al-Fatiha and then he read Surah Al-Duha. In the second rak'ah, he read Al-Fatiha and then he read Al-Duha. Every surah in the Quran has its meaning and its powerful lesson and powerful reason for its revelation. My brother saw him at the masjid, because we will never get victory until we unite and until we refugee to him, until we get closer to him. And he saw him, a lot of people behind him, because we need to unite together. Because in the union there is a strength, and in division there is weakness. Lastly, he read the Surah Al-Duha twice, in the first rak'ah and in the second rak'ah, as a confirmation of the victory that is coming. Because if anyone in you good about our Prophet, our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how this surah revealed on him after 30 days of cutting of Jibreel, the angel Jibreel alayhi salam was cut off from Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam for 30 days without any revelation, until Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam thought that there is something wrong. Where is Jibreel? He's not coming anymore. And also his enemies in Quraysh, especially Jamil, she is the wife of Abu Lahab. She came for Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam at that day, after 30 days of cutting his revelation, and she mocked on him together with other of Quraysh. She mocked on him and she said, "Has your Lord despised you? Muhammad has been bid farewell. Oh Muhammad, I see that your devil has left you." She named Jibreel, the angel Jibreel alayhi salam, as a devil. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just sent Jibreel in the same day for Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam with these ayah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى. مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى. It means your Lord has neither forsaken you nor hates you. And then مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى. What is coming, it's better what is past, because Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam faced a lot and suffered a lot in the first years of his revelation. but then the victory and opening Mecca and everything was in the coming years. So what we are facing is a test for our faith. What it's facing and what it's going, it's a test for us. It's a test just to wake up from our long dream that we are in. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said for Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى وَلَسَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَى أَلَمْ يَجِدْكَ يَتِيمًا فَآوَى. He found you orphan and shelter you. وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى. Did he not find you erring and guide you? Yeah, he guided him. And then وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى وَوَجَدَكَ عَائِلًا فَأَغْنَى. Didn't he find you needy and suffice you? وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى وَوَجَدَكَ عَائِلًا فَأَغْنَى فَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. We will talk and we will narrate our victory for our children soon, inshallah. I would like to conclude this with saying also I will finish with this ayah from Surah An-Nisa. I will say it in Arabic and then I will translate it. وَلَا تَهِنُوا فِي ابْتِغَاءِ الْقَوْمِ إِن تَكُونُوا تَعْلَمُونَ فَإِنَّهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ إِن تَكُونُوا تَعْلَمُونَ فَإِنَّهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ كَمَا تَعْلَمُونَ وَتَرْجُونَ مِنَ اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَرْجُونَ وَكَانَ اللَّهُ عَلِيمًا حَكِيمًا. If you are suffering, they are also suffering as you are suffering. And you are hoping from Allah for that for which they cannot hope. Allah is all-knowing, all-wise. Finally, thanks for giving me this opportunity to share these words with you. I hope this will be the beginning of a greater dialogue for peace, justice, and humanity. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Now the Executive Director of UNRWA USA, Mara Cronenfeld, come on up.
Good evening, everyone. Wow. What a beautiful audience. We are so grateful for you welcoming us into this Islamic Center, for welcoming UNRWA USA, Motaz, Azaiza here tonight. My name is Mara Cronenfeld, and I'm the Executive Director of UNRWA USA. Again, thank you so very much for inviting us here. I truly feel blessed to be among all of you this evening. We at UNRWA USA are the Washington, D.C. based nonprofit that supports the humanitarian needs and rights of Palestinian refugees through UNRWA, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency. And make no mistake, we have 2020 vision about our mission. We will not stop until there is a just solution to the plight of Palestinian refugees. And a world where Palestinian refugees thrive. We do this through fundraising and advocacy activities here in the United States. While of course we are affiliated with UNRWA, we work hand in hand with them, we are actually separate entities, and all donations that come to UNRWA USA are tax deductible. So keep that in mind. This week, we are traveling around the US on a special tour to bring our friend and colleague, Motaz, and his story, and the story of the siege of Gaza to our fellow Americans, with our second stop being here in Anaheim. We just came from Houston and Dallas. And I'm so pleased to be here in SoCal because I'm from Riverside, and I like this warm weather. These are my people. Lovely to be here. So let's talk about why we're all here. We're here, of course, to see and hear from the wonderful Motaz Azaiza, someone my team and I have gotten to know on our phone screens over the year, and we got to meet him a couple months ago in person for the first time. But of course, all of you here in this audience, and so many across America and across the world, have gotten to know Motaz through computer screens, phone screens. And we've gotten to know him as someone who has become famous for his bravery, his photographic and journalistic skills, his artistry, his strength, but most of all, his humanity. But we're also here for another reason. We're here because we're angry, we're upset, and every one of us is traumatized. I tell my staff every day, our brain chemistry has transformed, watching what experts know to be a genocide unfold right in front of our very eyes while the world stays silent, and while our government stays silent. And of course, any trauma you and I feel is nothing compared to those on the ground who are suffering, and to the suffering of Dr. Ahmed and his fiancée. We are bearing witness to bring the truth to Americans, because when Americans know the truth, they will act. Unfortunately, the media, traditional media, is not showing that whole truth. I'm also here for another specific reason, and if you'll bear with me, I want to share a little bit of a personal story, a little bit about myself. I've been at UNRWA USA for 5 years, and this work is a labor of love for myself and all my colleagues. My grandfather escaped Nazi Germany in 1934, and he fled to the United States. His sister and his sister's family were killed in the Holocaust. My grandfather arrived in this country, and God bless his heart, he said, "Never again. Never again shall a group of people be brutalized for who they are, where they were born, or what faith they happen to hold dear. Never again." And I happened to marry a wonderful Moroccan man. He's a very good cook, too. Our kids are nus-nus, or half-half, as they say in Arabic. And believe me, everyone here tonight, believe me when I tell you their Jewish side is no more human than their Muslim side. And their Muslim side is no more human than their Jewish side. And while my kids are half-half, and my husband's Moroccan, kulna Filistinin. I do the work I do today because of the legacy of my grandfather and his message that not just one religion or one group needs to be protected, but all. from Dr. Ahmed, who broke my heart yet again. We at UNRWA USA don't need to tell this audience that Gaza has been decimated. 2/3 of all buildings have been destroyed. 84% of UNRWA's hundreds of schools, 180 schools, have been destroyed or heavily damaged. All 12 universities in Gaza have been bombed and destroyed. Hospitals, places of worship, and cemeteries have been targeted and destroyed, all violations of international humanitarian law. And we have reached the gruesome benchmark of over 41,000 deaths. We don't need to tell you that more than 2 million people are trapped in a living hell. Families have been displaced, sometimes 12 times in as many months. And the 84% of the Gaza Strip has been forcibly removed. The people of Gaza, some 2 million people, are living on 16% of the land. We don't need to tell you that children and women are bearing the brunt of this brutal war. There were some 50,000 pregnant women in Gaza when the siege began. Imagine them going for months without showers, waiting in lines of 500 to use the restroom, giving birth in absolutely unsanitary conditions. We don't need to tell you that 20,000 children are orphaned, and that Gaza also holds the largest cohort of child amputees in history. And we especially don't need to tell this audience because so many in this room have had their family members stolen, their hometowns erased, whether in this Nakba or the previous Nakba. This includes our own staff members and our dear colleague, Hani, who will be speaking later today, who has lost over 150, I don't like saying lost, 150 of his family members have been killed, including his dear brother, his brother's wife, and 4 of their beautiful 6 children. This is unconscionable, and I'd like us all to take a moment of silence to honor their memories. Thank you all so much. Now I want to turn to the positive actions that we would like this beautiful group of people in the room to take. 1, you can call your local representative. I know you've been doing it already, but keep doing it. Demand a ceasefire in Gaza and now in Lebanon as well. And keep calling. As my colleague Leila Mukhaiber, who's here tonight, will say, that advocacy is about being persistent and annoyingly persistent. So keep calling. And as you also say, you're going to speak to the younger staffers, that's okay. They're the future leaders of America. They're the ones you need to influence as we continue to change how our government addresses this issue. Number 2, fund UNRWA. Call your elected representatives to support the UNRWA Funding Restoration Act. Congresspeople Carson and Jayapal and Chakowski just put forth a bill in Congress called the UNRWA Funding Restoration Act. 65 congresspeople signed on. We got to speak on the Hill in support of this bill, and we ask you to write your local representative and say, I support this bill, because you guys know why UNRWA is being attacked. People think they attack UNRWA, they can get rid of the right of return, the Palestinian refugee, and the very idea of a sovereign Palestinian state. That's why they're attacking UNRWA. Don't let them succeed. And third, we ask you humbly to consider contributing financially yourselves or collect funds from your community to support UNRWA through UNRWA USA, which actually is today and has been the #1 provider of aid in Gaza. Thank you so much much for coming this evening. Thank you for your moral, your political, and your financial support. And thank you most of all for your undying belief in this inalienable truth, that the people of Palestine are human beings just like all of us, and that all lives are sacred, not just some. And now, I think he's somewhere here. I have the immense responsibility. Okay, I need to stall, so I'm going to talk a little slower. And now I have the immense, actually, I'll wait on the introduction. Oh yeah, I'll tell you a couple of things. First, you donate by going to unrwausa.org/donate, and then there's a QR code for those who know how to use QR codes on the screen here. I had to learn, my younger staff taught me. But you can also go to unrwausa.org donate, although it's best to donate through the QR code. I want to tell you an amazing statistic. 2 years ago, UNRWA USA's revenue was about $5 million. All that money, all those funds went straight to the Middle East, to UNRWA's operation. After early October, our donors, some 7,000 donors, went to 76,000 donors by December 2023. Our revenue last year was $32 million. And UNRWA USA sent $50 million to Gaza to address the emergency. And I'm not telling you this to make you think we're special, although I do have a great team. I'm telling you because these donations came from every state in this country. They came from Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, Hindus, Zoroastrian, every religious group and ethnic group imaginable. The donors to UNRWA USA represent the American people. And when the US government stepped aside in funding UNRWA, the American people, all of you in this room, stepped up. So thank you. And this year, because of the generosity, we're looking at revenue potentially of $40 million. Unfortunately, this doesn't fill the gap of the US stop in funding. The US funded $420 million a year. So we're doing the best we can to fill the gap. But wouldn't it be beautiful if the American people could come through until Congress does the right thing? Okay, our honored, esteemed guest is back. Oh, he's cold. It's not warm. He said it's not warm, Southern California. That's true. It gets cold at night. Okay, so now I have the immense responsibility, also the immense joy of introducing to you an amazing person that you're all here to see this evening. UNRWA USA got to know Motaz in late 2022, actually, when we were looking to hire a journalist on the ground in Gaza who could help show the world, at that time, what was already a horrific 17-year blockade of Gaza, but also all the great work that UNRWA was doing to serve this population, and also the beauty of Gaza, which I got to see in 2022 myself. We hired Motaz and a woman named Amjad, and they started producing photos and stories. And we got to know Motaz online, in conversations on WhatsApp. And then October, and we watched, like you, our friend and colleague, become a hero. We watched, like you, as he risked his life day in and day out to show the world the atrocities wrought on Palestinians in Gaza as they unfolded. We watched as Motaz learned to drive, carrying a bloodied girl to the hospital. We watched as you looked for food, as you got eggs, I remember when you made eggs, and as you took care of all those around you. Motaz, we know your character well, and we can't ask for a better friend and a partner and a better truth teller about what has gone on the ground. And we can't thank you enough for showing the world the truth about Gaza, the beauty and the pain.
السلام عليكم. مرحبا. Hello everyone. I don't know if you will believe, but this is the first time for me to show and speak in Islamic Center, and I feel proud. I feel happy, but at the same time, I'm sad for what's still happening. It's almost a year. So first, I'm also happy for my relation with Honora USA, Mara, Leila, Hani, and everyone. They were like very supportive. I don't know if you also you speak Arabic, most of you. You're supposed to understand. But I will start with the hadith. عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم المؤمنون كالجسد الواحد إذا اشتكى منه عضو تداعى له سائر الجسد بالسهر والحمى. Believers and Muslims are like one body. If there is a part is hurting, all other parts will never sleep till it's fine. So I got enough of going around the world and being in a life that I didn't choose because I start to feel that I'm just going around and waiting the world to give me their pity. And here it's different because you need to excuse me for that, but this is a right on you as a brothers, from Muslim brothers to your brothers in Gaza. Thank you. Just wait. But unfortunately, because I don't believe we still stuck to our holy book, Quran, because I believe if everyone is really well understanding the words of God in Quran, that would never happen to us in Gaza. Because I meet people who are like saying, "Oh, brothers, you made us like convert to Islam because of you." The resilience of Gazan people, of Palestinians. You learn us how to be patient about things. Yes, but also God didn't create Palestinians just to die or just to be killed in front of the whole world, and nobody's doing anything. If you'll not stand for your brother, you should take a look on your Islam. This is what I believe. Before, as a Gazan, I witnessed a lot of things even before this happened. We have never stood back to anything is happening to any Muslim around the world. We've been always standing up and doing the best we can, even if we don't have a lot of resources. We are under besieged for more than 18 years. If something happened to Yemen, we're standing up. If something happened to Syria, standing up. Something happened in Lebanon, we're standing up. If something even happened to a non-Muslim country, we stand also for humans. But thanks for the people who are praying for people of Gaza. But people of Gaza need actions, because if you just say words, I don't think God told us just to say words. I think if you want to do something, you should work for it and to clear a niyyah for it. Dr. Ahmed he's a story in himself. Others in Gaza, everyone has his own story. And it's hard to tell. And it's harder when you are the one who is responsible to tell the stories for everyone. because it's a huge responsibility, and you need to make sure that to be honest and to not miss anything, because it's really a huge responsibility. I don't want to go here and there and ask people to, with pity, to do something, because we've never been the people who just waiting people to look to us with the eye of pity. No, we want real people to stand with us, because I'm here today just sharing the stories and telling the suffer of my people to the world, so that everyone can take action from his place. And believe me, I get this question a lot. Motaz, what should we do? What can we do more? We donate, we protest. Motaz himself, I don't know. It's easy to say, I don't know. Because nobody told me that I will wake up and I find a genocide against my country, my home, and to be besieged, to have any sources, and to lose your family, your friends, your life, your past, maybe your future, you don't know. And also to answer people, what should they do for us? I don't have a lot of words, because you already saw through the pictures, the videos I've been sharing. And when I left, after like 4 months of documenting there, because I was going to lose my life as 170 journalists got killed in front of the whole world, and no one even stood up to protect them. Only God who protected me. I don't know how I survived. And even if you survived, with your body, mentally you didn't survive. We never lost faith in God. We feel weak, we feel like hopeless, but we believe in God, and we believe this will end soon. And yeah, I hope just all of you to help me, so I can help my people. I used to work with UNRWA before this genocide, so for me, there's a lot of people I can't trust, but they are the people I already work with and I trust, and I saw their work on the ground. Me personally, on December, I received some food aid for me, myself, for my family, through them. And I see the work of UNRWA on the ground. So this organization I'm trying to support in every way possible from my side, because Israeli occupation is trying to destroy it, because it's the only United Nations organization that ensures the right of return for Palestinian refugees. As I believe a lot of you are maybe a refugee, you want to go back to his home and to see his home, as Israeli occupation didn't allow me in August 2023 to see my home, even if it was for a short time for work. I've been rejected for security reasons. I was an old terrorist for them, even before the start. And now I'm not able to go back to Gaza. Sometimes Motaz regret that he left. Then I said to myself, okay, if I stayed there, then a small rocket just like made me to pieces, and the war saw me, as what happened to my fellow colleagues, 171. Nobody did anything for them. So, me alive, that means I can show more to the world. How is the life under occupation, and what we suffer from Israel. So I'm trying to do my best, to do more than the best, with the help of all of you. I can't do anything alone, believe me. So thank you so much, and I'm so happy to be between you today. And please don't forget about Gaza. Keep speaking up, and about Lebanon also now, and about everywhere. Look, this war is not the best place to be in, and as we believe as Muslims, this is temporary life. So I hope just this end soon. Thank you so much. Have no more words. And just please keep speaking up and do your best for the people of Palestine. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Jazakallah khairan. Motaz, we're happy to have you here. You've given this masjid some izzah. On that note, inshallah, I'd like to introduce our dear brother Hani al-Madhoun to start a quick pitch for UNRWA. And before we proceed, we just wanted to say thank you again to UNRWA and their team. This masjid is a masjid that supports the Palestinian resistance movements for many years to come. Inshallah, we're proud that all of our brothers and sisters that have been fighting against the genocide in Israel. And Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. That being said, Hani, come on up. Inshallah, we'll have you up.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Hani al-Madhoun. I'm Senior Director of Philanthropy at UNRWA USA. Can we give one more round of applause for my friend Motaz? Inshallah, you will be hearing more from Motaz. It depends how well we do. Please. As Mara, my boss and mentor, mentioned that, I have family in Gaza, and it hasn't been easy. You've heard about the good doctor and his story. And I know some of you from my work at UNRWA USA, some of you are friends here and there. Alhamdulillah, we feel really we come together when we speak about the Palestinian struggle. And I felt the love every way, from emails, notes, Facebook, and all these messages. But also we know the other side also trolls us. They spread hate and spread misinformation and things that are just really very vile. And I know that we stand in solidarity here together. So UNRWA USA, this is the agency that helps UNRWA in the US. Think about this, 60% of aid inside Gaza comes through UNRWA. So a lot of agencies, and you have UNRWA bringing 60% of the aid, mashallah. And this is just, I know you have so many questions, and I want to start with those and answer some of your questions. The other one is our overhead is 4%. UNRWA USA has one of the lowest overheads in any organization. And we're talking about overhead of actual cash, not just in kind and boxes and things like that. So this is an agency, this is an organization that cares, and we keep our cost as low as possible because we want to send our money, just like you, to Gaza to be working there. So thank you for your generosity. The third point is your money, once it's donated, within 2 weeks, it will be working in Gaza. MashaAllah, there is many great organizations that support Gaza. So many of them are not able, or because of the restrictions in Gaza, to deliver. UNRWA USA is able to give you this pledge today. Within 2 weeks, your money will be with UNRWA buying things for Gaza, like flour, like the polio vaccine, like back to learning. So a lot of those things are happening. Some of them are not related to trucks. I know we're like, hey, no trucks is allowed. Yes, not enough aid is getting into Gaza, but there is some aid getting in. Some of these programs is mental health counseling. So this is not something we have to bring from outside. There's a lot of Palestinian heroes who are trying to care for the mental health of the Palestinians. I know your mental health is not the same by watching. Imagine being Motaz carrying this injured child. Remember, we watched it here and we cried. A lot of us couldn't sleep for days. What do you think went through his head at that moment? Him and other Palestinian heroes, journalists, doctors, nurses, teachers who continue to do the right thing. I just want to inspire this because, we're here in California and we just came from Texas and they keep talking smack about you guys. I'm telling you, everywhere, they're all bragging about Texas, Texas this, Texas that. I'm telling you, man, I don't know. Go big or go home. So alhamdulillah, we had a great fundraiser there for Gaza, and we've delivered, we've surpassed our target, and we're hoping to do this today. As you can see at the screen, we have a target of $300,000. Do I have this right? And we are, how much now? 18. So here is this. This is really important because the aid is going to get to Gaza, and this is the biggest agency in Gaza. Think about this, 13,000 staff from UNRWA work in Gaza. There is no other UN agencies able to do this. We love them, we work with them, UNICEF World Food Program and all that stuff. You saying anything?
No, go ahead.
He's just trying to say I'm short. And the ask of us today is to really ask people to step up. Remember, any questions you have, we're here to answer. 4% overhead, the money will be working in Gaza within 2 weeks. This is a pledge we make today. And we're not going to stay on the money. And I love every single charity. You might have your own charity, please support it. UNRWA USA is the largest worker in Gaza right now. And remember, I'm going to start with this, $300,000. That's just about what we raised in Houston. So I'm going to ask, and I'm not going to ask the volunteers. Are you here? Are you guys here? Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, great. So we're going to start this with asking if there is any generous heart here in this room that will get us started. The first ask is $25,000. This is going to be restricted for Gaza. It could be zakat. It's tax deductible. Your accountant will be very proud of you. When you do your taxes, they're going to say, mashallah, you give taxes, you're going to get a discount. So I'm going to ask if anyone, and I can't see, I'm asking for people to step up. Okay, here.
Yeah, what Layla's saying and what we want to tell you, this gentleman, our beloved colleague, he just drove 20 hours from Houston because we needed to get all of our t-shirts here in California for this event and for tomorrow's event. So he just got off of a 20-hour drive. He slept 2 hours last night, and his goal was to be here in time for this event. So let's have a round of applause for Penny, what he's been through. And we got to show him the love. So we're going to ask again, who is going to give us our first, Gaza, our first 25,000?
Great. So $25,000. Remember, we're going to do a small private meet and greet with Motaz. Some of those folks who would like to do that. Motaz really wants to meet everybody. He wanted to go on the street and take pictures and shake hands. By the way, can we take the gigantic selfie? People love this one. When you're ready, no pressure, no pressure. And we want $25,000. Any generous person in the room? I know we have a match too. Anybody? You can still get the ajr. For Gaza, I can't see. Nick, do you see anybody? I'm looking. Okay, great. Okay, we actually do have a match, but I'll save that for later. Okay, I'll go down to 20,000. Who's going to give us the 20,000? Get us started, mashallah. We're going to deliver it to Gaza. We work together, and I can't really see. It's the light in my... You can come and back and talk to me. There is envelopes, by the way. Can we show the envelopes? You could do the QR code. I'm keeping an eye on this screen. Think about this. We came here because we know that you care. I think we see a hand. We think we see a hand. I just want to remind you, we make money, alhamdulillah, and...
See a hand here? Right here. Yeah. Let's see a hand.
All right. Okay, guys. So remember, some of Motaz's family is in Gaza. My own family, my mom is 73 years old. She lives in Gaza right now, diabetic, and she's still in North Gaza. She refuses to go anywhere because she says in her mind that if she leaves, that she's not going to be able to mourn the people she keeps losing around her. There's kids that are getting killed in schools next to the families. There is, she buried her own child. Honestly, wallahi, it's her favorite child. And she's still sabra, and she finds faith. And this is the stories we find in Gaza, but we do not want to use Gaza, as Motaz told you, for inspiration. We want to take action. Actions like what? Voting. Actions like what? Advocacy. I know we all spend our money where our values are. This is important. Continue to do this. Show up for Gaza. Okay, I'm going to lower it to $10,000 and see if I can see any hand.
We have a hand.
All right. Thank you so much. Round of applause. Thank you. And this is the first person who's going to come join us after this at the conference room, inshallah, for a meet and greet with Motaz and the team, so we can thank you in person. I need another $10,000. Who's going to give us another $10,000? You guys live in California. That's like 5 movie tickets with a large popcorn. And absolutely no Coke. No Coke. Just a large popcorn. We have another one. Okay. All right, another round of applause. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. All right. This is California. They like number 10. All right, another 10,000. Can we get to the target? This side, if the room being quiet. What happened? We're okay. We're friendly. I promise. We have a lot of sadness in our hearts, but this is a labor of love. I want to tell you this. This is an amana. We're doing this work, and we love that we're doing that with you. We came here because the mosque was very generous, invited us here. Yes. All right. So I think now what? $30,000. We're making progress. That's one thing. Great, so 60,000, mashallah. Give yourself a round of applause. One of the biggest funds at UNRWA is the Zakat Fund, and this is 100% of your donation. 100% will go to Gaza. No salaries, no overhead, none of that stuff. It's important. We cannot just be obsessing over the overhead and all that. It has to be low, and we respect that. But when you give a zakat donation, 100% of the money goes to Gaza. We do not see any cut. Anything UNRWA receives, they deliver it, they spend money on food and medicine. This is really the biggest struggle. I want to remind you, we're not just doing this job. Some of us are doing things to provide for our families in Gaza. You know, some of you here know about the soup kitchens in Gaza. We're help run those as well. You know, my family runs one of that because we want to deliver food for our neighbors. We do this because we're humans, but we're also Palestinians. When it was so hard to get money to Gaza, we were able to do this. Another 10,000, and then I'm going to lower the amount. All right, another 10,000. All right, Amir, I need you. Where's your donors? Amir, come on.
Right here.
All right, we have another 10,000. Jazakallah khair. All right, good, good. Okay, now
We have another one.
Dr. Haifa, shukran.
Okay, great. I'm gonna lower it. You could still give $10,000, 7,500.
Oh, Penny.
Yes. Great. We have another one in the back. Thank you so much. We'll get it, guys. You guys take some time. I know it's not the Bay Area, but you guys are good. Take over, Mara.
This kid's about to fall over.
No.
Okay. No, you don't put her down. Well, I'll do a little of this. He's the master. I've learned a little bit over the last couple of weeks. Okay, so Hani, what are we at now? About
7,500.
7,500, okay? And you can tell us if you want this to be zakat. Just tell us, write it on the envelope, write it on your check. We'll make sure to honor that, and I'll tell you something very important with UNRWA USA. This is something I stand by as executive director. We get those funds out the door as soon as humanly possible. We don't want them in our account. We want our bank account to be as low as possible. So when money comes in, we get it out the door as soon as possible. We guarantee you that. Okay, let's see 7,500. 7,500. Yalla. Yeah, what was the price point that you had mentioned the other day?
$40 provides food for one person in Gaza for a month. That's one of the breakdown. That's flour, that's canned meat, that's chickpeas. And I tell you, North Gaza is not getting the veggies and all that. Even things are tough in the south, but UNRWA was delivering despite the losses, the attacks. Do this with your phone very quickly. If you go type UNRWA, you will find an Israeli-sponsored website from the government spreading misinformation about UNRWA. So what a great way to piss off the Israelis by making a big donation to UNRWA USA. Let's piss them off. And I say this in my personal capacity because I'm a good person. $5,000, and let's do this. This is really the number, the magic number for some people. 5,000. We have one. I need more. $5,000. Keep your hand up or stand out. So, and you can say what town you're from.
Right there.
All right.
Okay, baby. This is like an American way. I don't know what to do. So I don't know. But yeah, this is how I'll use myself to support my people. So for me myself, I don't wait for people to give, but whatever you can give, it will help people there. So this is an organization I trust personally because I personally got some aid from him in December. So this is handy job, but I want to meet everyone, but I'm trying to use myself to my people. So yeah, thanks so much.
Okay, let's see, some other 5,000 hands. And I think I heard something about $5,000, right? Yes, I think Amr told us something special about $5,000 number and getting to meet a special person. 5,000. Let's see, we gotta see some, thank you. We got one here. Oh, there's a little child raising her hand for her family. I'm not sure if she's getting in.
Oh, right up there.
All right. That's the expensive seats, I imagine. Well, if you guys needed some good news, California always picks us up. We have an anonymous donation for $50,000. Jazakallah khair, or whatever we need that. So, that's amazing. Guys, my lead volunteer here, Malik, he went to Harvard and he's helping us out. So this is important, guys. This is really important. We got a guy from Harvard. He's an amazing Palestinian. He wants to help. So one more $5,000. Let's give more. Okay, we have another $5,000. Great. Who's willing to match that? Another $5,000, and then we're gonna go. Okay, I see another $5,000 there. Do I see it right?
You need the QR code.
I don't usually do this, but when I was in the West Bank last August, before October 7th, I met up with, do you all remember Dia Qasqas? Anybody, yeah? Dia actually works with UNRWA on the West Bank, and he took me to one of the refugee camps, and we did work with them at the camp on the border for quite some time. So I don't usually vouch for many organizations, but alhamdulillah, we did a lot of great work. And UNRWA on the ground is a reliable organization, mashallah. So consider donating generously. Jazakallah khairan. That's my speech.
Remember, we have a Q&A afterwards, so you can ask Motaz. I know some people like to give in private. I appreciate this. This is really to lift up our community in Gaza. Again, this is a critical gift. UNRWA was under attack. Despite this, the agency continues to show up for Gaza. And I know you know the attacks. You've seen the misinformation. And we want to make sure the agency is funded. Why? Because not a lot of people are able to do this. One quick story. When my family get this, 70% or more of the UNRWA schools have been bombed. 70% of the schools in Gaza were bombed. My family, my mom, my brother started a whole school. A new school out of scratch to put 270 students in school. They put a sign on top of the school in Hebrew. You may have seen it. It says, please do not bomb. In Hebrew, so people can see it from the sky. And guess what? We've gotten the teachers donated from UNRWA and other agencies. They provided teachers so we continue to teach kids. This is the agency that cares about the Palestinians. There's so many global NGOs that they support Palestine. They support the Palestinians, but they do not talk about things like the right of return. You know what this is all about. The attacks in UNRWA is about that. So remember, one more $5,000, and then we're going to go to lower amounts. All right, one last one. Okay, we have one in the back. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you. All right, 2,500 guys, and then we have 2 more minutes, and then you're on to your program. Mara.
We just heard, as we're asking for 2,500, the envelopes, or if you have a check, you don't need the envelope. You can just raise your hand and say you're going to go through the QR code. There was a question about the envelopes. They're just to help you if it's cash or a check.
Do you need the QR code?
Yeah,
Please, by a show of hands, $2,500. Guys, remember, you have one here, 2,500. All right, thank you so much. Remember, 96% of your money goes to the program, so this is really... Okay, we can. Yes, okay, all right. All right, 2,500. Who's, okay, we have another hand here. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, thank you. Another, we need a few more. I know, okay, here's another one. Thank you, 2,500. That's a trip to the grocery store, guys, come on. All right, another 2,500. Thank you, here's another one. Thank you. Mara, can you see more? All right, guys.
Keep your hand up, keep your hand up.
Honestly, we love this masjid so much. We said like we want to come here. So many people said, hey, come to, they made space for us, alhamdulillah. Amir was very helpful. Okay, 24, we go to 1,000? All right, 1,000 guys, 1,000. By show of hand, please. $1,000. Okay, we have another 1,000 here, 1,000 here. All right, one more 1,000, another 1,000. All right, guys, let's keep an eye on the tally. We're gonna update it. We'll give you an update after the Q&A. I know we're all tired. I hear you, I see you. I know we're all like, our hearts have not been the same. Our health is not the same. But you know, the people in Gaza, the people of Lebanon are tired. We cannot be. We have to be powerful. We have to be strong for their safety, for their well-being. So please continue to give the most you can and continue to center their voices. Another one last ask, $1,000. Please here raise your hand. My colleague Nick here came from New York to help us with this, you know, this work. All right, another 1,000. Well, you could give 500. You could buy a t-shirt from outside and support the work, any amount you give. Remember, the last, I leave you with this note. When you're hungry, no gift is too small. Assalamu alaikum, jazakumullah khair, and I invite back my brother Amir. Assalamu alaikum.
Bismillah. So we have time for 2 questions before we have to jump to Isha prayer and then the meet and greet. So we figured we'd just, we sourced questions from the audience in advance. And so we'll ask Motaz the 2 questions, inshallah, that were upvoted, and we'll go from there. So Motaz, first question is, how have you been dealing with PTSD, and do you have survivor's guilt?
Okay, yeah, for sure, I'm dealing with it. The feeling of being guilty for surviving, and others maybe don't have access now to survive or to evacuate. Yeah, it kills you. Sometimes it makes you okay, I want to go back, but you will think like, why you did go out of you or go back. Sometimes you keep feeling that you don't deserve anything good happening to you. You don't deserve the food, you don't deserve this sweater even. But what makes me continue is the reason why I left. Just because I want to do more without losing my life. If me, Motaz personally, if me being dead will change a thing, I will never waited for it. But as I mentioned before, like seeing all my colleagues being killed in front of the whole world, that makes me feel okay. If I will lose my life, maybe the world will be busy for 2 days talking about it as like, because the famous you got and people knows you, but then everyone will continue his life normally and nothing will change. So yeah, I found maybe me being alive will miss more the occupation and will do more for my people. And okay, the survival guilt exists, but at the same time the people losing their lives. So there's no time for you now for your feelings or emotions. It's not your time. People are losing their lives and you want to do more because it's a responsibility on you.
Jazakallah khairan. And then Motaz, another question. Thank you. Another question, these are Muslims here, they all live in Orange County, and we have the elections coming up in November. We have probably one of the most important elections that we've all lived through for quite some time. What do you feel that Orange County Muslims can do to help the situation in Gaza, given what's going on?
Maybe from this place, from your houses, to educate your sons about the truth and what's happening, to raise their awareness and to educate them, because us as a Palestinians, I feel, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, education is the most strongest weapon we can use to free our country and to show the world what is happening and what's the meaning of occupation. Because I use my education, the language, I learned English translation, I use the skill to show the world. I succeeded in that, and everyone knows now. So nobody have an excuse when he could do something and he don't. Don't believe anyone who told you that I didn't know. No, the whole world knows now.
Jazakallah khairan. Round of applause to Motaz and Azaiza. Just two more things before we let everyone go, just a few announcements. I did mention this, November elections are coming up, probably one of the most important elections for a lot of us, because it's an election that many of us can actually have a massive, massive impact in the outcome, both locally and nationally. It's our chance to make an absolute difference as a Muslim bloc in voting. So please, if you feel hopeless, you can't go to Palestine and support directly, at the very least, this is your chance to register to vote and make sure you show up in November right here at our conference room to vote on site. This masjid is alhamdulillah, thank you. This masjid is a voting center this year in Orange County. We're an official voting center. So please make sure if you haven't registered to vote, CARE, South Asian Network, many of the Muslim organizations, you can go through them to at least register to vote and get your butt over here inshallah in November and get to the ballot and vote your conscience inshallah. Lastly, I can't thank Anurwa enough. Mara and I have been talking for quite some time about organizing, and I'm glad we got this finally done. Inshallah, more events to come. Last but not least, PYM has a massive protest on October 5th down in LA. If you can, follow their socials, make sure you're in tune with what's going on. Support your local SJP, support your local resistance movements here, and make sure that you're always giving back to your community. The QR codes will be up for quite some time. And then for those of you who have donated above the $5,000 threshold, get your sticker ready. We'll meet you right over at the conference room. Your sticker will get you into the room. Jazakumullahu khairan. I can't thank you enough for attending. Come and visit us at the Farmers Market this Friday, first Fridays of every month. Thank you again to Motaz. Jazakumullahu khairan. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.